Yes, hello, and welcome to our next installment in our series of programs on playing card game Solitaire. We received a number of comments from some of our subscribers saying, hey, card guy, the Klondike game, the original game, is awful easy. What do you got? So my response to you is, here's the deal. No pun intended. That we can up the ante, we can improve our strategy and how we play the game with a few kind of exercises and scenarios. So I'd like to revisit the classic game today, but do so with a little bit more scrutiny and a little bit more thought in a lesson that I call Klondike 2.0. Let's give it a shot. Okay, we'll begin with a quick overview of our deck. Now, for Klondike, the original kind of solitaire game, this is a one-pack game, so go ahead and get your standard pack of playing cards. As you know, 2 colors within the pack, 4 suits within that pack, 13 ranks each suit, and of course they range from ace through king. Now, of course, we always recommend you get those cards shuffled. I recommend that you get them riffle shuffled 7 times to create mathematically proven maximum randomness. So you truly begin from a nice clean slate when you play the game. Okay? Now, next lesson. Let's talk about the layout of the classic game of Klondike. So start from a nice clean surface as you see here, and you've seen this before. It's 7 piles, 1 on the left, 7 on the right. The top cards are revealed and those top cards are in play. This forms your tableau, and during the course of play, your job is to create runs. You're building down in opposing colors, reds on blacks, blacks on reds, and so on. And then those runs are portable and you move them to reveal hidden cards. Now, of course, during the course of play, you'll reveal 4 aces. These will be your foundations. The job here is to build up in suit all the way to king and do that 4 times in order to win the game. So that's your basic overview of Klondike. And of course, you'll have a stockpile where you will peel off cards, and then you will create a waste pile where the top card of that waste pile is also in play. For you to build runs and hopefully get cards where they belong on those foundations. So let's go ahead and play around here, and we'll talk a little bit about the classic game and maybe introduce some concepts for you to think about when you play. So let's go ahead and deal out our tableau here. I've sped it up just a little bit just to try to get to it. Okay, so we've got it all laid out here. What's the first thing that we should do here? Well, let's go ahead and get that ace graduated up here to establish our first foundation, and then we can start to build a run here on our tableau, putting that black 3 on the red 4. Now we've got a jack that's left. Let's go ahead and go to our stockpile. Different schools of thought here. Some rules say to deal 1 at a time. I've always done 3 at a time, but I think for today, let's go ahead and do 1 at a time here. We'll place that king in the empty position, as you know. Red queen on top, black jack, and so forth. And then think about destinations. When you deal your cards, think about, is there an open spot for that king? Where can I put a red queen? Well, it has to be a black king. Where can that jack go? Is there a red queen available? Is there an empty spot available? Is there a red king available? Is there a black 10? Is there a black jack? Oh, yes, there is. So now that red 10 can move, and we can join that 9 on top of the red 10 and reveal a hidden card. That's important for us. We want to get all those hidden cards revealed. Go ahead and move that red 5 over and reveal yet another. Go back to our stockpile here, and we'll just start to deal off 1 at a time. And again, think destination as you deal these off. How about, is there a black 4 where this can go? Is there a red 9 where this can go? Is there a red jack where this can go? How about a black 3? There we go. There is a black 3 to accept that red 2. We'll place that where it belongs. Is there an empty spot for the king? Is there a red 7? Is there a red 8? Is there a red 5? Well, there is a red 5, so let's place that 4 where it belongs, and you can see we're building our runs here. That red 8 can go on the 9 where it belongs, and again, the top card and all the piles are in play, so get those moved, get those combined, build those runs, and start to get all those hidden cards revealed. Let's move that black 6 run onto the red 7. Oh, and this is great. We've just revealed our second foundation. We've got the ace up there where it belongs. Ooh, and even a third foundation. This is great. So we can start to build up those foundations. And we've got an empty slot waiting for a king. Oh, and there's a king right there. We can place it there and claim that empty position. Now continue to scan the tableau here. Kind of think in your head. Red 5s, black queens, black 6s, or black 5s I should say. Anywhere that we can play. Oh, there we go. We've got a foundation. We can move up top and we can add that 2 of hearts to it. Remember, those foundations build up in suit. There's a nice black 5. We can pull that red 4 run over to combine that into a nice long run. That's looking good. Any more moves here? How about that red 4? Can go on the black 5. Any more? No, looks like it's time for a redeal. So let's go ahead and peel those off one at a time again. That black 3 can go on, or does it make more sense to... Do we need it for a red 2? Let's put it on the foundation now. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. There's that king. Is there a black king? Is there a red queen that we can place these cards? Is there an empty position for that one? Is there a king we can place it? You know, the winning odds of this game are not all that favorable. It's actually only about 1 in 30. So why don't we do this? Why don't we pause from this game in action here and let's look at 6 scenarios that I've prepared to talk about a few concepts, okay? So let's move on to the first scenario that we call Tableau versus Foundation. So here's our first scenario. We've got the cards laid out in a specific way to demonstrate a concept for you. So I'm going to deal off 3 cards. That's traditionally how I do it. 3 of diamonds. Now, where's the best place to place that 3? Is it on the 2, on the foundation, or would it make more sense, frankly, to place that red 3 onto the black 4? What's more favorable for us? I typically go to the tableau first and then hope that here's a situation where that 2 normally would be unplayable. But fortunately we have the red 3, and I'd like to reduce the stock whenever is possible. So for me, first stop is the tableau before we go to the foundations. As you can see here, if we ran it the other way, where you place the 3 right up to the foundation, then here comes that black 2, there is no move, and so the 2 remains unplayed. So I think it best be to consider you placing it onto the tableau and reduce that stockpile. There's one concept for you. I'm talking another idea here. I call this one hidden cards. Here's another scenario that we've set up here. You can see all the picture cards. Let's move that black queen onto the red king, reveal that hidden card, and then there's a question for you to think about. What makes sense here? What's the best next step? There are 2 red jacks that can play on that black queen. What's the more favorable? What makes the most sense? Well, think about the cards that are hidden or trapped beneath. 1 card is hidden beneath the jack of hearts, while there are 6 cards hidden beneath the jack of diamonds. What's the best move for us? Now, typically I go for the one that is hiding the most cards. We've got to get those hidden cards revealed, so I typically go for the one with the larger pile and reduce that pile. You can go the other way. You can do the opposite. You can use that jack of hearts and hopefully dream up an open position for a future king. But I typically go with the pile that has the most hidden cards and start whittling away at them to get all those cards revealed. So give that one some thought. Here's another scenario that I call creating an opening. So very similar to the one that we had before, where we've got a couple of options here. So here's our stockpile. Our waste pile is already in process where the top card is in play. See that red 6 here? There are 2 options here. We can place one of either of those 2 black 5s. What makes the most sense to you? If we place that 5 of clubs on the 6, we open a position, but if we play the 5 of spades, we can reveal a hidden card. What makes most sense? I typically try to get those cards revealed. So I move that one over, I reveal this card. Now in this case it worked out favorably, where then that red 4 can go on the black 5, and we have in fact created a nice open position for a future king as it's revealed in the stockpile. So give that one some thought too. What makes most sense? All right, next, I'm going to call this one Return to the Tableau. This one doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen on occasion where you may want to double back. So here's that 3 of clubs on the foundation. We have 1 foundation not yet established. Let's go to our stockpile, deal off 3 cards like we normally would. Look at that 2 of hearts. Normally that 2 of hearts is unplayable. We have nowhere to put it. However, you may want to consider taking that 3 and putting it back down to the tableau. Go ahead and grab that 3, put it back on the red 4. That then allows you to play a red 2 and get that 2 out of the stockpile. And look, it just so happens that the queen can play, and we were able to advance our foundation and get the 2 up where it belongs. Doesn't happen a lot. Not every rule book agrees, but consider it. Look at potentially taking the card in your foundation and bringing it back to the tableau to open up some moves. Here's another one that I like. This one's called the Tableau swap. So we've set up another scenario here. Give this one some thought. look at that 3 of hearts and think about what we can do to build on the 3 of hearts. Right now, there's really not a move for the 3 of hearts, but there is for the 4 of clubs. So what if you were to swap the run, move that red 3 to the other black 4? That frees up the 4 of clubs, which then can be moved up to the foundation, which could be helpful for you to open up some moves, give that king a chance to move over. Doesn't always come up. Some people say once you're married to a run, you cannot divorce a card from a run, but I think you can always move the top card and give yourself some options. So give that one some thought. Here's another scenario for you. This one's my last one. It's kind of my favorite. Really not much of a scenario so much as more of a technique that I think is just always amusing. What you need here is, notice there's an open spot next to that queen run. Let's go to our stockpile. We've got a king that would just claim that open position. And then if you look at the black queen run, you pick it up and you place it onto the red king, revealing yet another open spot. Well, that's one way to do it. But I really prefer performing what I like to call the king slip. And here's what you need to perform the king slip. You need a few ingredients. The first is you need a queen run that's available. Next, you need an open slot that's ready for a king. And then finally, a ready king ready to pounce. Now, why don't you just do this? In case you missed it, let's watch it again. The king slip. Let me get in a little bit closer to really reinforce the fun of the king slip. And one more time just to really reinforce it. There it is. Obviously just having a little bit of fun. But I do think the king slip saves some time, and it's often what advanced players do. So give it a shot and see if you too find that it saves a little bit of time of fumbling and moving those runs around. So, there you have it. There's a few scenarios for you to kind of improve your thought on playing the game, give you some concepts, give you some things to think about the next time you play the standard Klondike game. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Remember, you're never really alone if you've got a pack of cards. So thanks so much for joining me for this lesson, and be sure to join me again next time.